Good morning, everyone, and welcome. Thank you for joining us today for this webinar entitled From Strategy to System, How to Digitize ESG Reporting the Right Way. My name is Mohamed Bradai. I'll be your host, moderator for this webinar. So this webinar is brought to you by Environmental Horizons company in collaboration with our partners, Tekmon, and also the Global Reporting Initiative, GRI. Sorry for that. We're very excited actually to have all of you here, coming from different industries, from different governmental institutions, to share some insights, maybe highlighting the importance of digitizing the ESG reporting process. And for that, I have by my side our speakers for today. We have Panos representing Tekmon, who is the co-founder and COO, and also Elisa from the Global Reporting Initiative, GRI, who will be populating or animating this webinar. So before we start, just a few quick notes. As you know, this session is being recorded, and we'll share the replay and material afterward. We might have also an Arabic transcript for the webinar. So please feel free to type your questions in the Q&A box down there. So there will be like a session for the Q&A at the end of this webinar. So I invite you to put your questions during the sessions, across the sessions, so we'll be able to reply to your questions, remark, or whatever you have. So I think we might start. I'm sharing this presentation, so just let's start with a quick introduction about Environmental Horizons. For those who doesn't know, let's say, the full scope of services we are providing. So after all, Environmental Horizons is a leader leading the environmental consultancy and service providers in the KSA. So we provide comprehensive environmental solutions, providing a wide range of environmental services that with like almost 2 decades of experience, knowing the deep knowledge, let's say, of the culture, the characteristics, and the environmental challenges within this local context. So we are committed to provide high quality environmental services that contribute to the environmental protection and promoting sustainability performance of our clients. This is, of course, in line with the national goals and initiatives under the Vision 2030. So we are, our mission is basically providing innovative and integrated environmental solutions for our clients to improve their environmental and sustainability performance. We are also providing distinguished industrial and hazardous waste management services, just to support our clients integrate this circular economy, different circular economy business models. We are also providing environmental consultation, for our clients to support them meet their, compliance obligations and beyond, just maintaining their compliance with applicable legal regulations and guidelines. Also, we are supporting our clients in their sustainability transition journey by providing ESG-related services and strategic consultancy. And also, we support them by providing integrated technical and logistical support, so logistics services, emergency response services to support them. So this is, of course, in our vision to be like a valuable contributor to the implementation and the success of national environmental policies and initiatives, and supporting this sustainable industrial development approach. Also, we try to contribute, develop, and improve the environmental services sector in the kingdom, and transforming it to regional and international reference. So our main services are, let's say, covering environmental consultancies and studies, marine studies, and marine services as well. We do remediation of contaminated sites. We provide specialized recycling solutions for different industrial waste streams. We do the waste management for industrial and hazardous waste. Covering all the scope. From the on-site handling, collection, transportation, treatment, recycling, and final disposal for ultimate waste. We do provide environmental permitting, EPU, EPCs, for the any activities that require environmental permitting, whether for construction, operating, or different legal, let's say, requirements. We provide as well environmental emergency services to support our clients during environmental incidents, release of hazardous material, or marine oil spills, etc. We provide as well sustainability and ESG related services. Of course, we will be highlighting this, during this presentation. Also, services related to, construction, maintenance, and also operation of landfills. And finally, we provide training, specialized trainings through our licensed or accredited training center, Environmental Horizons Training Center, which is, let's say, specialized in providing trainings in four main areas: environment, sustainability, safety, and energy. So we are actually licensed for more than 30 activities from NCEC, MUAN, Royal Commission, and the TVTC for the training services. We operate, of course, all across KSA and also beyond for some projects in the region. Alhamdulillah, now we have like a growing portfolio of clients, hundreds of clients that we have proudly served from different industry, leading different industries actually, and from government institutions as well. So for this, webinar, we'll be focusing on the sustainability reporting and maybe the challenges or maybe some solutions and recommendations, and also highlighting the importance of digitizing this process. So maybe we need to know first the local context for this. So we need to know that this is, basically the local context in KSA. We know that till now we don't have like a mandatory reporting framework for sustainability, but there is a lot of efforts being done towards this goal, and we are expecting this in the near future. Still, companies are still reporting their contribution to the national strategies, Vision 2030, which is the key driver actually for the sustainability initiatives. This is actually worth mentioning that there is also a lot of encouragement. We have like few guidelines, like the ESG disclosure guidelines published by Tadawul for the Saudi exchange of the stock market. Okay, encouraging those company in the stock market to disclose and then report their sustainability performance. Those national guidelines are aligned with international frameworks, so they are always referencing to the international frameworks like the Global Reporting Initiative (GRI) and the Sustainability Accounting Standard Board, the SASB. Knowing and working with our clients, especially within this context, we have like a lot of clients that they are starting or recently started their sustainability reporting journey. Some of them are planning to do this, in the very near future. So the main, let's say, challenges that they are facing are basically, related to the selection and navigation of the frameworks themselves. So really how to select the best framework, how to navigate the reporting, let's say, requirements, and correctly use the standards to do their reporting. One of the main challenges as well is the data collection. So we have like, it's really challenging for firms, to collect the right data with the good quality, and also the availability of those data, that is also challenging. So many firms are still now using their manual spreadsheets, disconnected systems. So they have a lot of risk for error, inconsistencies, and inefficiency for the data collection process. And also, finally, one of the main issues as well, or maybe challenges they have, is calculating their emissions in verifiable way, because emissions data often they are scattered over a lot of departments, and there is let's say still lack of good data infrastructure for companies. They don't have like real-time digital monitoring tools to manage those big amount of data. So those challenges, I think during this webinar we will tackle those challenges with a lot of insights, a lot of very valuable and interesting information that will be shared and discussed with our colleagues. I think next session will be with Elisa. So I will just give the floor to Elisa to start her session. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Give me just 1 second. Okay. Show my presentation. Here we go. So good morning, everyone. Thank you, Mohamed. And yeah, first of all, I wanted to greet you all. Thank you for taking the time to spend 1 hour, more or less, this morning with myself representing GRI and with 2 members of the Alliance and the community that basically improves and enables our mission. Tekmon is a GRI licensed software provider, Environmental Horizon, a consultancy company that is part of our community. And my name is Elisa. I come from that bit of GRI that doesn't directly produce the standards, but support companies and organizations in using them. So today, I would like to talk with you. This will be a bit interactive, so I will ask a couple of questions to see where you are. And I wanted to share with you a short introduction about the GRI standards, where sustainability reporting is worldwide. A second part focused a bit more into the reporting process, and a third part that focuses on data interoperability and opens the flow to the role of digitalization. That what can help us to perform reporting in an easier way. First of all, I wanted to start asking you a question to understand a bit more where you are from. So let me launch this poll. I hope you can see it. Okay, this is about the why. Okay, what I wanted to ask you is, what's the position of your company around sustainability reporting? There will be some of you that don't produce a sustainability report and maybe don't think about producing it in the near future. I hope to have you changing your mind soon. Others report or will report, but there are many reasons to do that. You can do that mainly for all of your stakeholders, mainly for your investors focusing on financial impacts. Some of you may be reporting mainly to meet requirements from regulators, or because you're part of a supply chain where the provision of this data is required. Okay, thank you for answering it, so we can see where we are. I will give it 1 more minute. Okay. Almost half of you answered. Let's see what we have. So, as you can see, some of you do not plan to report. I hope we can try to change your mind. And then we also have a number that reports because of the investors' requirements or because of the regulators or the customers. And I'm very proud that almost half of you reports not only for a portion of stakeholders, but for all of them. This is the goal of GRI, and we will see it a bit later. So thanks for answering this. Going a bit more into the topic, let me tell you briefly what is GRI. My foundation is a proudly independent and international organization. We are a non-for-profit, And our goal is to provide a global common language for corporate transparency, focusing on sustainability impacts. We will see what they are just shortly. Our standards are freely available as a public good. All of you can use them for their own reporting purposes. And also, as mentioned, we have alliances with professionals that implement them in their commercial products or in their commercial activity, like softwares and consultants. Again, we are a non-for-profit, and this is our history. So it's around 28 years that we started as a very small organization, and we updated and improved our standards through the years. Right now, we are very proud to still be the most used sustainability reporting standards. And we're also proud to be co-living with other standards that are mainly interoperable with ours. Some numbers, okay. You can see numbers about the downloads of the standards. Very important, the countries with national or jurisdictional policies that reference the GRI standard. These are 128. We have different translation. 77% of the largest companies report with GRI, but also the SMEs use them. And we also provide different ranges of support to put together the community of practitioners that use the GRI standards. And finally, some numbers. These are taken from the last KPMG survey on sustainability reporting. So you can see that GRI is used across all regions, and the Middle East has the lowest number here, that is 64%. But as you can see, is a huge number, and we're very proud of being used together with stock exchanges requirement that most of times are relying with us. On the other side, you also see the SASB standard that focus more on the financial impacts and is our ally to provide comprehensive reporting, right? Also, yeah, we are the prevalent standard right now. If you have any questions, please use the Q&A section. I will be more than happy to answer them. Now, let's go a bit more deeper into the standards. And again, this is just a glimpse of what we could talk about. I would like to hear again from you. Let me find the right poll. Here we go. So I would like to hear about how does your organization approach sustainability reporting? And again, is a bit of a focus on the previous question. So you don't report, you don't plan to do so. Some of you may be planning to do so. Some of you may be reporting with GRI. And or there is a multiple choice with other voluntary standards or framework, or others that are following the stock exchange's requirements. This focus is because we're going to talk about the GRI standards and interoperability soon. Thank you for sharing your answers. Let's have a look at what we have here. Almost half of you answered. Thanks so much. So as you can see, most of you report or are planning to do so using GRI and or other frameworks. But again, very proud to see that GRI reporting is prevalent. Those who are preparing, you are in a good place to start getting some insights, and yeah, hope to change the mind of some of you that don't plan to do so. So going to our topic now. Sometimes I say that in my presentation, I hope that the colleagues from the standards doesn't see them because my team really stands in between what is voluntary standards and the reporting practices. I will try to use a language that is not so formal, but I hope will help you navigate. Okay, so what do we have in the standards? In them, we may have reporting rules, so the requirement for the preparation of a report, the principles that you have to use, the steps to follow, how you omit data, for example, and these are related with a blue star through the presentation. Then the big topic, the data points that are collected, and this in GRI corresponds to GRI disclosures and their disclosure requirements. These are data points. And then we have some actions that goes beyond, the reported content for example, to perform a materiality assessment or to notify GRI of the publication of your report. Again, this is not formal, but I hope it can help you navigate the presentation. So you may have seen this picture. This is a scheme that explains the GRI standards. We have 3 main blocks. We have the universal standards. You can download all of them for free, okay, also in consolidated versions and in different languages. The universal standards in green are the recipe. They tell you which kind of reporting option you have, with reference that is the most flexible and in accordance the most comprehensive. It tells you about the ID card of a company that you should report. These are the disclosure from GRI2, basic information. And then we have the recipe, GRI3. This is about how to choose what is important to report upon. And I will be back to this concept shortly. On the right side, we do have the topic standard. This is our a la carte menu. So you have all the disclosure, all the data points, and all the topics that are covered by the GRI standard in a standardized way, in a universal way, and in an interoperable way. But if you come from a specific sector, and we're talking about oil and gas, mining, agriculture and aquaculture, and soon to come the financial sector and also the textiles, you have already a preset menu from which you can take inspiration because it includes the most likely material topics, the topics that are more likely to be relevant for your sector. And here is a focus on materiality. When we were talking about, okay, what is important to report, this is GRI secret recipe, right? We focus on impact materiality. So when we try to answer this question, what we ask organization is identify your stakeholders. And here we're talking about your investors, civil society, your employees, the environment itself, and all the other stakeholders you may be dealing with, and to go to them and ask them what is important, because they will be able to tell you about the impacts of your entity to the world, right? This is nowadays complemented by the IFRS perspective of sustainability. For them, the financial materiality is what helps you understand how the sustainability topics will impact financially on your entity. The double materiality now is the most common approach and the most forward-looking. You identify your impacts first from the inside-out perspectives, and on them, you build the risk and opportunities in terms of financial impacts. This is the approach that is taken by the European ESRS, but that is encouraged by many regulators all over the world. If you have questions, use the Q&A, please. I'm very curious to see what you think about this. And here, again, a glimpse of the reporting process, okay? This is a suggestion. Where do you start? So first, we recommend to understand the elements of the standards and the principles. We go to our recipe, GRI1, and we choose the reporting option. And then we go to the materiality assessment. This is not compulsory for all reporting options, only for the most comprehensive one, but is the rule that helps you understand where your organization stands in your value chain and to control it. So it's a very important management tool for you. We ask to understand the organizational context, identify your impacts, assess the significance of impacts together with your stakeholders, and prioritize the most significant one to reporting, having at the end your material topics. After this important step, then you have the data collection process. So you go to the outside and you analyze and collect the data that are important for you. These are indicated by GRI disclosures. And here is where a software can be helpful, as we will see. At the end, we ask you to prepare a GRI content index. That is a fundamental element of a GRI report, is the map of your reports. Publish it and notify GRI. This way you will have a GRI report. And here, again, don't get scared. This is an extract from GRI1, where we have only 9 requirements that are those that you need to respect to report in accordance with the GRI standards. These are about the reporting principle, the disclosures you have to use, and the application of the materiality assessment. I recommend you try to follow them, and even if you can fulfill all of them, you can have a with reference report. Just see the last 3 requirements: publishing a GRI content index, providing a statement of use, and notifying GRI. We have fantastic with reference reports that we have been seeing again. And here, just to give you an idea of what does a GRI report look like, you can recognize it from the GRI content index. Doesn't have to follow these specific graphics, but needs to contain these elements. From here, you have a map that can be used also during your reporting process, where you can see the reporting option through the statement of use in accordance or with reference. The GRI one was used, the applicable sector standards, and all the standards, disclosures, their location, and the omissions that are in the report. In this index, you can also include disclosure from other standards. Now, this was a very summarized introduction to the technicalities of the standard, but let's talk a bit more about digitalization, because this is what can help your company reporting in an easier way. So, tricky question, and be blunt, please. How is your organization positioned towards digital sustainability reporting? Okay, there may be some that are looking for a new solution to improve data collection and reporting, others that have a single solution managing the full process, others that use software, but different types of them, and then those that use Excel. I can tell you now, I don't have the exact source, but I saw another report from KPMG that was saying that I use more than half of the companies that they inquired are still using Excel. So, I mean, you're not alone, and you're not alone in your search of new solutions. Thank you for answering. Let's briefly see where we are. So, this is not new. I mean, to us, most of you are still using Excel. It's a good base to control your data, but when you have a big amount, a digital solution may be helpful for you. And Panos later may be helpful to understand a bit more about one of the solutions that are available. Thank you so much for answering. And let's go to the next section. So, the GRI standards, 2 concepts, one about interoperability and the other going a bit deeper on the data. You have to think that the GRI standards are the most used worldwide, but we're also the oldest in the market. So we cooperate with the ISSB, TNFD, CDP, and with the United Nations and the SDGs to be fully aligned with them. So our aim to be the universal language for reporting is accomplished this way. Another example, again, are the European regulators that work together with us to produce the ESR standards. In general, our reporting principle supports both limited and reasonable assurance, and this is a good starting point for those of you that doesn't have regulation but may have them, mandatory regulation soon. And in general, yes, using the lens of impact reporting is the base for double materiality and to report on sustainability both ways. Talking about data, where is this interoperability? When you open the standard and consult them, you can see the disclosures, right? We're into a topic disclosure here that is made by requirements, so that those data that you should report. There is also the support of defined terms, and here comes the universality of the standards. So there is a glossary and exact definitions. On top of it, there are recommendations that are encouraged but not required, and that can be helpful for your data collection and for the definition of the data points. And on top, you also have guidance. But I just wanted to give you the basis for reading a GRI disclosure, a GRI data point when you prepare it. And lastly, and to close up my presentation, this is more of a question. So which are the software functionalities that can support your ESG reporting, right? So GRI interoperability can be boosted and made easier by softwares. So this can be allowed by the software you use. It can be useful for the other function of the standards, that is to provide you with the language for managing your impact and your impact strategy, right? Of course, the data check, the quality validation, we're very proud to have such allies that can help you in making your life easier in managing the data, and also in integrate your reporting exercise with other softwares. This will be all from myself. I will love to see your question later. I will share some links to GRI free support and GRI free tools and other kinds of support that we provide. And I thank you very much for your attention. I pass the word to Panos.
Thank you.
Thank you, Elisa. Thank you, Mohamed. Thank you, Elisa. Thank you, Mohamed. Let me share my screen as well and start presenting what we have prepared for you today. Okay. You can see my screen, correct? Okay, great. So a few words about Tekmon. Tekmon is a software vendor. We have developed the Tekmon software, and that is consistently ranked among the best by independent organizations like Gartner's Capter and Software Advice. And where it mostly excels is in the ease of use. And this is for a reason. The reason is that we are not ESG software per se, but what we have done is that we have created a technology framework that you can manage different aspects of non-financial data. So this platform can be used for ESG, but from your health and safety department as well, or quality department, technical, asset management, etc. So it's a platform, and it's a technology framework. For example, Lulu Group or Axia are using the platform for sustainability, but for other use cases as well within the organization. The way that I wanted to present today is I will split the presentation in three parts: how technology can help you automate data collection, how they can help you streamline the reporting, and of course, the ultimate goal, which is to improve. The way that I have created the presentation is, for each part, I will explain what are the top business requirements and how technology can help. So either if it's Tekmon or another technology, I wanted from this presentation to understand that these are the business requirements and the technology, no matter which is the software vendor, there are some technology capabilities that can help you become and solve these requirements. So the first and biggest requirement when it comes to data collection is how I can help my people that collect information to do that more efficiently and not lose time, because I guess they have other things to do as well. So the first thing is that there are 4 different ways that you can collect information, and you need to also prioritize. So once you understand with your consultant what are the data points that we need to collect, you first need to find if this information are already in a system within the company. This could be your ERP, could be your HR system, could be a SCADA system that collect energy data. The technology that you should choose should be able to connect with those other sources of data. So one way is to connecting with existing systems of the company and collect this information. If you have a legacy system that cannot be connected, it can certainly export an Excel file, or you might have a vendor that also provides with Excel files that you cannot change. So the system that you use should also collect the information from a format of Excel that is very specific and transform it to another format that is suitable for ESG reporting. And this should be made automatically. So this is a second way to collect information. The third way to collect information And the third more efficient, because people start with AI nowadays, but this is the third more efficient way, is with AI. AI can help you collect information from documents, summarize text, export information from bills that are in PDF files or images. And you should use it for eliminating data entry. And the fourth way, if everything else fails, is to collect information via digital forms. Of course, this is manual, but the consolidation and the reporting then is also automatic, should be automatic. So these are the four ways that you can collect information with different kind of technologies. Another business requirement, as we saw, the three ways, Excel file, AI, and digital forms required for a data owner to do something, either upload a document, upload Excel file, or submit data to a platform. So a very big thing within the companies is how I can engage my data owners. So the system that you should select should be also able to create automatic notification to the data owners and create progress reports, and you see where you stand now in terms of data collection. Another thing is how you can keep good data quality on the information that you collect. We have seen cases like you request waste in tons, they provide you in kilograms, or they provide to you Excel files that are half empty. So there are also different ways that you can have better data quality. The first way is during the data submission to give warnings to the users that this might be wrong, or to have some validation rules like mandatory fields. The second way is to create approval process. So maybe a data owner submits information, somebody other needs to approve this before going to a final reporting. Even if the information goes to the final reporting, there are two ways that you can also track false data. You can create visual warnings, and here also AI can play a major role and can run quality checks to your data. Now, you start today digitizing your processes, but you already have information from previous years and historical data. You don't want to lose that, and you don't want two systems to monitor what is happening historically within your company. So the solution that you should choose should also have the capability to migrate past data. The way that we do that is that we utilize the second option of data collection, the Excel files. So most companies have already the information Excel files. So we make sure that we utilize those Excel files and we migrate past data to the platform. This is, for example, a company based in UAE that we started working with them in 2023, but they had information since 2019 in the different markets that they operate. And the last thing about automating data collection is that there are different cases that you need to guide your people when they're collecting data. This is very common for scope 3. For example, if you collect the data from different kind of suppliers, or if you are running an internal commuting survey. For example, maybe some cities have metro a metro network, others do not have. So you need to give different options to the people that submit information to the platform, and you want to guide them accordingly. And you don't want to have like a very big questionnaire and don't know where to start from. So in the system that you should use, this system should also be able to create those guided data collection processes for these specific use cases. Now, I'm going to the second part of the presentation, which is how we can help companies and how actually, in general, software vendors should help companies streamline their ESG reporting. As Elisa mentioned, there is the concept of materiality analysis, now the double materiality analysis. You should be able to create in the system materiality questionnaires. These materiality questionnaires preferably should be able to be submitted also from non-users of the platform. So I don't know if you have, in your case, created Google Forms that you can send a link to the participants and submit questions. Your system should be able to do the same thing. You send a link because when we run a materiality analysis, maybe many stakeholders need to be involved that are not users of the platform. So we need this capability of sending links to the stakeholders. We gather those questions, and then automatically we calculate the KPIs and we create the materiality matrix. Now, for environment, the major thing is how we can calculate easy the greenhouse gas emissions of the company. The platform that you should choose also should be able and support different and multiple data collection factor databases, because in some cases there are some specific, and should also support custom databases, because maybe you need to create some very, very custom data factor databases. You then connect the data emission database with the raw data that comes from the platform from the first part we saw, from the data collection part, and then it's very easy. You multiply and sum and calculate the greenhouse gas emissions. What is important here is you also need to have a system to create the organizational structure of your organization. What I mean by that, you can see here a map. This is a company that has hotels. It's in the hotels industry and hospitality industry, and they have different hotels around Mediterranean. So you also need to create this organizational structure, and you have the specific filters and see what is each hotel, how is performing in this case. Of course, could be a manufacturing plant, could be a retail store, could be any kind of organizational structure that you have. Now, when it comes to compliance with the different frameworks, Elisa talked at the end of her presentation about interoperability. This is very important. Ourselves, as a company, we are certified tool and partners of GRI. So we also provide a framework. We have a templates library that are certified by GRI that are according to their process. And how it looks like, this is, let's say, the digital GRI content index that you can find in our platform. You can see here the different topics: general, material, economic, environmental topics. You can browse from the different categories. You can go and select a specific disclosure that you want to report. Let's say in this case, I want to report the occupational health and safety management system. And because, I don't know what this is exactly, I have the complete instruction of GRI, the background of this specific disclosure, the data points, what is required for me to report. There is the guidance, as Elisa mentioned, the bibliography, glossary, and also the versioning of the specific requirement. So when it comes to interoperability, what is very important is that maybe you need to report in different standards and different frameworks at the same time. This is a snapshot from a company that uses our platform. And it's actually it has created an interoperability reporting in 4 different standards: GRI, ATHEX, this is the local stock exchange, ESRS, this is the European, Bloomberg, and some internal. So you can see the results from 5 different standards, all embedded in a single platform. Sorry, stop this. Okay. Yeah. Then the next requirement is about being audit ready. The same way that you need to be able to report financial data with an audit ready way, the same way you should be able to report your ESG data as well. So the platform that you should choose should also be able to be audit ready. What this practically means, that you can come from the intensity KPIs, the most major KPIs, and you can track back each submission. So, for example, this is the intensity KPIs for fuels. You can click, see all the submissions, click to a specific submission and see who was the user, how they collect information, did they upload the PDF file, did they submit something to the platform, was the AI that extracted this information from the document, and what was the exact document. So this is something that you should also be looking for, the platform that you choose to be audit ready from start to the end. And when it comes to the annual sustainability report, the system should create all the elements that you need for you and your consultant, of course, to be able to create the final annual sustainability report. And this includes not only graphs, it could include tables, it could include visuals, it could include text fields, and the system should also be able to download this from the platform. So you created the platform, and there should be a capability to download them in different formats. And now I move on to the final part, which is how a system can help you actually improve. It's not only about reporting, but it's also at the end how you can improve on those processes. The first thing that a platform can help you is benchmark your performance, first of all, over time, with different locations, and in some cases with industry peers. What I mean with the last one, there are also other platforms. This is not we don't do that, but we connect with other platforms. For example, here, this is a third-party source that is creating ESG ratings for universities around GCC area in North Africa area, and we can see rankings. So if, for example, you are a university and you are using our platform to digitize sustainability data, you can also benchmark your results with other companies, in this case, universities, that are in might operate in the same way as you. So this is the first step to improve, is to first understand where you stand and where you should put your efforts and do the gap analysis. Of course, you understand where you stand, you understand where you need to go, but you don't go there unless you do something. So the platform should go beyond the reporting and should also help you create tasks, create follow-up actions, and follow up on these follow-up actions. So in this case, this is how we approach that. We allow users to create goals in the system and monitor real-time progress during time. And of course, this is done via an action planning, very specific action planning that you can assign tasks to specific people and to help them collaborate and monitor the progress. And the final thing is to make informed decision. You have created the system to collect information, you report according to the standards, you make anything, you understand the competition and you benchmark against your past results and the different locations. And you have all these things in a platform. This is a very powerful, actually, way to understand where you are. And since you already have also an action plan to also project where you will be in 1 or 2 years from now, or you may need at the moment to have a very specific question about your data. AI today can help you on that as well, with the same way that you ask questions to ChatGPT and you get results. The same way you should be able to ask questions to your data set and get specific questions that you might not have a ready graph for this at the moment. So this is from myself. I covered 3 different areas: how companies should be able to collect data, how to report, and how to improve. So thank you from my side. If there are any questions, I'm very happy to respond.
Thank you very, very much, Panos. Thank you, Elisa, also for those wonderful and really interesting, presentations. I think now we should move to the Q&A session. So I think we have already received a few questions from the attendees. So I don't know if we can go, for all of them. So if you allow me, maybe the first one, I think Elisa might be interested in answering this question. So it was about, the difference between the European Sustainability Reporting Standard, the ESRS, and also the Global Reporting Initiative, GRI framework standards. So I think, you might take this over, Elisa. Thank you.
So Mohamed, and thank you. So the ESRS standards have been built together with GRI. Our technical team was sitting with EFRAG while developing them. The main difference is I will tell you, the first thing is that they are complementary. So if you have a GRI report, you have a very good starting point. What should you build on an existing in accordance GRI report? First difference, materiality. So we do have the impact materiality. On that same impact materiality, you have to build the second bit of the double materiality, so the financial materiality. This is a requirement from the ESRS, but I will tell that that is quite easy. Probably your financial department is familiar with risks and opportunities. So if you did an impact materiality assessment following GRI, is the same as the ESRS requires. On top of it, you analyze those impacts and you build the risks and opportunities that your company have financially. This is the first difference. The second one can be about some variations on the data point. So most of them are aligned. So that also briefly in the screenshot that Panos showed to you. ESRS may require some additional data points, okay? And if you already had a GRI report, maybe you have some data points that are not strictly required by the ESRS, but I can tell you that in that case, you're better positioned. The ESRS requires to use eventually other frameworks as GRI, that is actually recommended to report those data points that are not available for your material topics. So the ESRS have some specific topics that require you to assess and report upon. If you have a different one because of your sector, of your area, because your stakeholders demand that, and you want to report upon it, GRI is recommended. So you can fully recycle your ESRS report in that sense. And this is quite common in between regulation, but within the European one is really, really clear. And Mohamed, if I can add up, I saw that there is a question about more forward-looking, will the MENA region adopt which standards, the ESRS of GRI? So you have to think about GRI as the bridge in between different languages, and the one being the oldest and the most used that others are built upon. So ESRS happen to be built on that. If you will have a regulation, probably if it includes impact materiality, it will follow GRI. I cannot tell it for sure. Is the most adopted by stock exchanges, and these are recommended, and this is already happening. So again, is a good base. The ESRS are still interoperable. With the new regulation, the Omnibus is pushing forward the reporting for companies that operate in different countries than Europe, but are linked to Europe. So I will say it may affect you, but you will have time. And again, starting with GRI is usually a wise choice because of that similarities. I don't know if this helps.
Well, excellent, Lisa. So just, if just make it, simpler, if I also understood this correctly. So let's say if you are reporting using the GRI standards, okay? So you are confident that you are also complying with the ESRS requirements, right? Is that correct?
With most of them is the base. You will need to build something upon, but the biggest part of the job will be already done. That's
Sure.
it.
Excellent. Well, thank you. Yeah, I think this was good. Thank you. I think we can move to another question. Okay, what we have here is that some maybe one of the audience, they are starting or maybe they are starting this process of reporting, so they are preparing for next year report, but they are facing problems with data collection. especially what we receive data from our international branches and different departments in form of Excel files, and there are few errors. All right. So now, we're talking about like a corporate with different branches, and they need to develop their report, but for all the let's say that the scope will cover also their branches overseas. So here, I don't know if maybe the Tekmon solution could be could support this. So maybe the question could be answered by you.
Thank you, Mohamed. The way that we would approach this problem is first is a three-step process. First, we would create the organizational structures. So the person that asking this.
Well, I think we've lost you, Panos. I don't know if yeah. Well, no problem. Maybe waiting until Panos goes back online. I think he has some connection issues. So yeah, I think we will get back to these questions, but I think the Tekmon platform can support those kind of multiple sites, whether within the same country or abroad with different, let's say, customizable setting of data collection requirements, etc.
I'm back. I think I had a temporary connection. Okay, thank you.
Been unlucky, Mohamed, I think.
It's fine.
Oh,
No problem. I will take it over, no problem. Well, okay, so I think there is another question. Let's go to the other questions. Okay, maybe Panos is back, right?
Yeah.
So because also we lost you this time. So
we would approach this with three. First, we would create the branches in the system. The second, we would create, as we call it, an ETL process. ETL is extract, transform, load. This is a process that you can extract information because those Excel files might have different format. So this process enables you to manage different Excel files, different format of Excel files, extract this information with the way that these branches have been used to collect information, translate them to the requirement logic, and import them to the platform. And you do this automatically. You just get the Excel with an email, you upload it to the platform, or you upload it to a cloud folder, and the system extracts this information and submit it to the correct fields. So this is the way. And about quality data, this can be done in this case in the reporting layer. You can have an AI agent that does some automatic quality checks. So it checks if information was if some information was missing, or if there is a spike that seems that it's not correct. So these three approaches: first, you create the organizational structure, you build an ETL process to extract information, and with AI, you do the quality checks.
Perfect. Well, thank you. I think we still have like 1 minute to go. So maybe the last questions is also, I think, addressed to you, Panos. It's regarding the accessibility of the Tekmon platform at site level. Okay, so it's managerial, but at site. So the question is, maybe you can take this.
Yes, the platform. Of course, as I mentioned, once you create the organizational structure, you can collect information from every site. And we also provide mobile application. So even somebody that is from the field, there's a mobile application that works for Android and iOS devices, and you can collect even information from the production line. Not even so we can go even that deep wherever you are, even in offline mode. So, for example, we have clients that they build metro stations and metro underground. You don't have internet connection there. We can collect information from everywhere.
Excellent. Well, yeah, well, that's good, Panos. But we have like questions from Amin Soliman. I think it's very common questions actually. Okay, question because when collecting data, usually they do have this gaps, for data over months, years, etc. So this question is to how to deal with that. What you should do if there is some gaps. Okay, so maybe this will be from your side, Elisa, so if she can,
Yeah.
bring some, added value.
Exactly.
Thank you. So, yeah.
I can explain the technical part, and Elisa, maybe you can explain maybe the what is required. And this is a consulting as well, so it's not a
Yes.
one-dimension problem. Technically, what we call this is data normalization. We also have this problem. For example, we have this again. This is a very similar technical problem. For example, you have information from data reporting periods. For example, you collect information about electricity, but nobody goes at the 31st of December to collect information. You have like information for two different data periods with one measurement. Again, these are some data normalization problems, as we call them, and there are techniques that you can assign. You have the historic data, and you can project and give some assumption how what was the missing data, what should be, or if you have this to report preview, how this specific submission can be split into different time periods. So this is the same actually mathematical problem that can be solved with normalization, data normalization. But if this is acceptable, maybe you as consultants or Elisa should respond.
So it depends on the data point and the disclosure that is followed. Actually, the GRI standards are quite flexible in this sense. So the definition of the data point is not flexible because we need normalization in between data. You should collect them in a specific way. Anyway, you have two options. So depending on the disclosure, if you have any kind of flexibility in establishing, for example, the time of the period of collection, you should just declare it, and that will be enough. Or if the disclosure is really strict in that case, you can always use omissions because it happens. To the point where you declare that you're not reporting a specific requirement or you're doing that differently because you didn't have data at that point, that will be totally acceptable and absolutely welcome because it happens, of course.
Thank you, Elisa, for this clarification. Yeah, I think this kind of problems is always there, and of course, you need to report it in a very clear and also transparent way. Yeah, and maybe the idea here is that the third part, maybe Panos talked about, is the improvement, let's say, of the system, okay, of the data collection and the quality of data, etc. So this could be like opportunity for you to establish, let's say, a solid. Data collection system, okay, in order to fill those gaps, in the future. Okay, so yeah, I think we're coming to the end of this session, but we still have some questions coming in. Maybe if it is okay with you, Panos and Elisa, we can take just one other question, final question, then all questions that you may have, our audience, you can just email it to. I will drop also here my email as well, so we can receive all your questions even after this webinar, to give you a chance to reply to all your questions and inquiries. Thank you for understanding this, and I think we should go with this final questions from Abdul Nasser Rashesh. So he's talking about, is the development of localized sustainability reporting methodology specifically tailored to the unique economic, social, and environmental priorities. He's talking about the local context here of the Middle East, and why not Saudi Arabia, is necessary and suitable approach, or does the imperative for global integration and capital attraction make the adoption of the established international frameworks like the GRI or ASRS the more prudent path? Yes, well, yeah. So maybe Elisa, if you can answer this in light of the lack of, region specific framework, or maybe so. Yeah, in this case, what do you think about this?
Personally, and again, it depends then on the regulators and what they adopt. But from if you take GRI as a global standards, the standardization of the data point is something that I will say is region agnostic. So you should have a specific data point that speaks the same language as others. Organizations are global and can talk. This is the main thing. Reporting methodology. Sometimes when the standards have been done, you always have the idea of they are too general or they are too specific. I can tell you that after 28 years, we do have the balance. You mentioning the reporting methodology. So GRI steps are usually, again, a very good base to start and to prepare for future, reporting requirements. And again, if only financial is mandated, let's say against our interests, I hope it doesn't happen. Only financial materiality is mandated, and you need to evaluate risk and opportunities financially in terms of sustainability impacts. If you really want to control and properly manage your value chain, you want to map that through an impact materiality assessment. So again, up to the regulators to choose that. The use of standardized data, I don't think is really, needs to be specific to a region, but needs to be universal. What can change the material topic? What is important for you to report upon? That's why the materiality assessment process is open to be adapted. That will be my personal point of view, but again, let's see the regulators. But curious to see what you think, Mohamed and Panos. Oh, Mohamed, you're muted, sorry.
Okay, sorry for that. I was dropping my email address, for our guests if they want to follow up on this, and or maybe add additional questions. But this is, as you mentioned, it's very depending on many factors. But the idea here is that these questions, I think it's coming from the this specific context. Okay, but after all, it depends on your priorities, on your maybe requirements. Okay, why you are reporting? I know maybe mandatory reporting, even if it is, let's say, voluntary, but it should be like a purpose. You have some goals, you have some goals to achieve, so you need to be aligned to find that the best way, the most suitable approach to achieve the purpose of your reporting process. All right, so I think I know some of the questions are still there, but I think it is better, I think, to get back to those questions later on through the email address. So maybe at the end of this webinar, I think I need first of all to thank our partners and collaborators, our respectful speakers, Panos and Elisa, who are really you really put this webinar live. And sure, I need to also, I have to thank all the attendees for their kind attention to this webinar, to their interesting questions as well. And I'm sure that they might have additional questions, maybe even clarifications to ask, whether about the reporting process or even about the solution we are, let's say, discussing here, digitizing the process, how can it be beneficial for them, etc. I think there is few points that might be discussed after this webinar, and why not we can have also additional sessions, you see, and maybe we can organize webinars for some specific topics as well, to be more, let's say, focused on the need of our let's say audience, our clients. So I think that's it maybe for today, but surely there will be like follow-ups on this. So thanks again, and for being here, for attending, for giving from your time, spending time with us. And I wish you all a good and a fruitful day. So I think we come to the end of this session, this webinar. So yeah, I think we will be leaving soon. So just if you'd like, just to say goodbye to the audience, so we can close this session.
Thank you.
Thank you a lot. Thank you, Mohamed. I left my email also in the comment section if somebody wants to contact me. I'm available to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a lovely day.
Thank
Goodbye.
you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.